Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video that's going to explain a tutorial of the game. It's going to be really a beginner's guide, as well as it's actually good for some intermediate players that just maybe don't have the complete knowledge of the game yet. So to begin, I'm going to start out in the lobby once you first start up the game, and I'm going to show you some of the information that you have in here. To begin, you're going to see your gear tab where you can gear up. You got your crafting menu that you can buy. You got to be certain levels, have a certain amount of tokens. These S tokens you get by leveling up. From there you got traders, which is really crucial to know about. Traders rotate every 15 minutes. There's 4 traders. You have Kingdom Alliance, United Allies, Pirates, and Central Empire. All of them can be leveled up, levels 1 through 10. Now, be aware that you need to do daily contracts in order to level them up. Under the Contracts tab, they reset every day at approximately 1 a.m. British Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. If you're in a different time zone, just allocate those times differences. And once you get them, you get a total of, I believe it's 5, it might be 6 daily missions that you do every day, and they will level up 3 of the faction standings: Central Empire, United Allies, Kingdom Alliance, and that's it. Pirates are leveled up through a different aspect, and it's called the Zero to Hero quest line, which is this big one in the middle. You got to do all these quests to level them up. Starting all the way from back here where you had a Scrap 3 junk, all the way up to the current part that I'm at, which requires me to kill Commando Majors. And at the time you complete this one, Top Brass, that's when you get Max Pirates. Alright, now I'm going to go to the scrapping menu under the crafting tab. There's a thing called scrapping right here in the middle. You can scrap pretty much anything. I'll buy some things to show you. Alright, so in the crafting menu, the scrapping is right there. You just pick up the item and you drag it into this gray box, and it gives you scrap. I got 1 junk and 1 metal scrap. Alright, also be aware when you hold the item, at the bottom it says scrap potential items, 75% chance for synthetic scrap, 25% chance for junk scrap. That's the chance that you get those items when you scrap this item. So just be aware, that's a good way to find out what items you want to scrap in order to get, say, metal sheets or metal scrap or synthetic scrap. Alright. Also, as you can see down here at the bottom, I have all this synthetic scrap already. So what I do with this is I leave it in here. I leave it in my crafting menu because I can actually still use it to craft. As you can see, bandages, I have 49 synthetic scrap. I do have a couple in my box, but 49 of them. I leave it in here to use for crafting. Why take up extra inventory space when I can use this menu here to hold some of my crafting supplies when we can just use them whenever? So that's the basics of the crafting menu. Now I'm going to show you the weapons tab. I have all these weapons, and you can go in here and do modifications like this K1. I might have a better weapon to actually show you. This K1 right here, fully modded. It has a stock, a mag, and a compensator, and I can remove them here or add them on. You can also go to your gear, find the weapon, like this one, and you actually can drag and drop mods on weapons now. So that's a unique feature they just recently added, so make sure you're doing that. Alright, so that's how the weapon menu works. You can go through, and as well as you can see the damages, the recoil changes, capacity, all that. All this information. So make sure you're just paying attention to that. You'll see suppressors give you more damage. You'll see stocks reduce the recoil. So it's an easy way to figure out how much damage the weapon does and all that. Now, hangar tab. This is where you get ships. Everyone has a rust bucket, as you see up top. You can't lose this. Rust buckets are permanent. It's the beginning ship. But you can get 3 additional ships in the beginning until you prestige, which I'll talk about later. So I have all these ships. This is a scout AI. Got a heavy frigate. And I got an interceptor. Alright, all of them are better than this rust bucket. But they all also have issues with them. Like this one's fast but dies quickly. This one takes a lot of damage, but it's slow. This one's just an overall, just a better rust bucket. It's just, that's all this is, just a better rust bucket. And in this tab, you can go to weapons and you can add different artillery that you find, make or buy. You also can click manage ships here, and you actually can scrap your ship and get money for it. So that's a good way. You know, you get someone's ship or you take an AI ship and you want to take it out, there's some additional money for yourself. Also, if you activate a ship and you go to gear, you have equipped ship stash. So I can add stuff in this ship stash and actually have additional storage by using it if I don't want to bring it into raid, as well as I can bring extra heals or whatever items. So say I have a friend that died and I want to bring in their gear but I don't have room, I can stack it up in here. And they can just go to the storage, which is located near the airlock of every ship except rust buckets. Rust buckets do not have storage. And you can pull out items there. So the last thing I'm going to show you in this menu is going to be where your stats are. You can see all your statistics of your overall gameplay, and that's going to be this eye icon at the top right. From here, you actually get all your information. So you got my name, level, how much EXP I need, all this additional information, KD, survival rate. You get all of it right there. So now I'm going to go into raid and show you some more things, like where all the information about how the rust bucket works, ship combat, and from there I'm going to show you some hotkey usages and stuff like that. I am in a live game, so it's possible you'll see PvP. It's also possible I die, but this is going to be fun to show you guys. All right, so I just loaded in. In the rust bucket, you start out here usually. Sometimes you'll start out at the bottom. It's possible you start at the engine. I'll show you all around it. But to begin, I'm going to walk into the bridge. Right here, you got 2 things, telescopes that come down that you can connect to. This is the pilot one. It says pilot ship. You can connect to this, and it gives you the overview of the ship. Behind it, you have the turret. If there's only one person, the pilot can also shoot the turret at the same time, all from one console. You also have the turret. Like I said, if you're a duo and you want someone to shoot, because they can look behind them. When you're a single player, you can't shoot behind your ship while you're driving. Your ship has to turn with you. So just keep that in mind. If you step right outside here, you'll actually see 2 more telescopes right there and right there. These ones are binoculars, and they just allow your additional 3rd and 4th players to actually look at the side of the ship, and maybe they can do call outs for you, make sure they see drop pods, like that drop pod's hitting that cargo ship right there. And just keep that in mind. All right. So from here, ships can take damage and they can get disabled. So you might have to repair it. And there's going to be fire extinguishers here on the rust bucket. I'm going to show you where they are. Directly in the back here, you got 1. There's a fire extinguisher. You can grab it, equip it, and go down here to the engine room. And you'll see the engine. When a ship takes damage, this number will change. The ship will also move. You'll feel that it got hit. You just take the fire extinguisher, and that's all you do. You just put it on the engine. Alright. There's also fire extinguisher located right here. and 2 of them located directly below the main staircase. Alright. So also on every rust bucket, this is only for the rust bucket, be reminded, fire extinguishers are different on other ships. For the AI Scout, it's the same as the rust bucket setup. It's a different ship for the Interceptor, Vulture, and Heavy Frigate. You have to find them, but the fire extinguishers are in different positions, and the Capital as well. So, in a rust bucket, you get a starter kit. Right here, it always spawns with a Luger, 30 rounds of 9mm, and a pouch rig. And I'll show you what it looks like. 30 rounds, Luger, and a pouch rig. It's basically your starting kit. If you have nothing, you always have something at least on here. Alright. Now, the last thing to show you on this ship is going to be where the drop pods are. Well, actually, the airlock. The airlock for a rust bucket's directly underneath the pilot ship. And it's right here. When you could dock into a POI, whatever the main rate is of that map, you just come here once you're docked, you open this door opens, you decompress, and you'll go out the other door. And that's how you get out. Also, players know there's a captain card. Only one person gets a captain card of the team, and that's the team leader. You need this captain card to access the airlock when you're coming back on the ship. I don't need one to leave the ship. But once you want to come back to this airlock, if I want to come back on the ship, you have to have this key card to be able to open up the airlock console on the opposite side. If you right click it, you can also see the player's name, the name of the ship, and what kind of frigate it is. Rust bucket, you know, nothing important. You're not going to care about that. But if you see Scout AI, Heavy Frigate, Vulture, Capital Ship, or Interceptor, that's a more premium ship. So you want to probably go and try to find their airlock and take it out. So right here, you go straight back into the escape pods and engine room, and you got 4 escape pods. These escape pods are unlimited usage. You can pop in it, and as soon as a person blasts off, another person could go through it. It's not only 4 usage. Just because there's 4, you can use it as many times as you want. And that's going to conclude the information for the ships. Alright, so as I showed you, the escape pods was the last thing on the ship. I'm going to talk a little bit about in-game information. And we'll start out with what this oxygen timer is in your menu when you open, or not in your menu, in your inventory that you open up when you click tab. Remaining oxygen is your raid timer. So basically, whenever this runs out, your character automatically starts taking gasps of breath and you just fall over dead. So you got to make sure you get out before this time ends. Now, also, weapons have durability. As you can see, mine says 100 of 100. I'm going to blast off a couple rounds, and you'll notice what happens. Now it's 95 of 100. So I lost 5 durability already. Weapon durability has no specific issue that you're going to care about except when it hits 0. When it hits 0, it completely breaks, and you can't even use the weapon. There's no jamming in this game as of currently, so you don't have to worry about that. You just got to make sure it doesn't break while you're in raid, because then now you got to switch to a different weapon. Also, ammo in this game can be used from your backpack. You don't have to have it connected to your slots that look like it's on your character. As you can see, I'm still reloading. Took the ammo from my backpack. So keep that in mind. So now you're going to see the white bar when I take some damage. So maybe I'll do some jumps off this so I can show you guys what I mean. This is not the most efficient way, but... Alright, so I don't have enough of a bar to really show you. Now you can see the white bar a little bit right here. My HP's permanently gone now. Alright, my HP's going to say 100%, but it's 100% of what's available to my character. Alright, so I lost some permanent HP. The only way to fix that is with meth, morphine, or aspirin that you can find in raid or also purchase off some of the traders eventually when you level them up. And that's what you'll probably end up using towards the end game when you're actually fighting with a lot of materials on you. It's going to allow you to get into a fight, and once you take a lot of white, you get a lot of white damage on your HP. It's called pain, by the way. That white bar is called pain. And those 3 items will get rid of this pain and allow you to fully heal back up your entire character. There is also a similar thing for stamina. Down at the bottom right, you can see that my white bar is gaining. And the only way to fix that is with food or water. And that will get rid of this white bar and allow you to keep, having more stam. The thing that affects your stam is ADSing, jumping, and running. So that's what you have to do. So I'm going to eat some food and you're going to see this white bar go away. There you go. Now, food in this game counts as a heal. And with that, it heals some of my health, as well as it gets rid of that white bar. Food can specifically is one of the best healing foods in the game, besides the military ration that you can find. And for a military ration, it takes up 2 slots versus 1 slot, and 2 food cans is better than 1 military ration. So food cans are the best way, as well as they're really cheap from the vendor. They're only like $11 or $12, so food cans is the way to go. Now water, I don't have any on me, but water heals very little. You'll gain very little HP, but you'll get rid of a massive amount of the white bar on your stamina. So keep that in mind. Food's good for healing. Water is good for fixing your stamina bar. Alright, so that kind of explains what the information I wanted to tell about in-game for right now, of some of the major things. Now I'm going to show you an in-game of rare event. And I'll have some pictures added in so you also can see a capital ship that I don't have at this moment. Right there, that ship right there with red lights on it that I'm aimed at and now shot at, that is called cargo ship as well as merchant ship, and it's a rare event. And it doesn't always pop up every raid. It maybe, if you're lucky, you'll get it every 5 raids. Some people go 30 raids without seeing it, but that's what a cargo ship looks like. Just look for those red lights on it, and that means you can go to it. The way you go to it is you get into a breach pod, and you actually breach into it, and then you're inside of it. And you'll find the breach pods while you're in there to escape eventually. There's also a capital ship as one of these kind of ships. It's a little bit more you can't really notice it as easy as this one. It's going to be a big ship that's smoking. It does not move, just like that merchant ship in front of us. It's smoking. It has a turret on it, and it has 1 red light in the middle of it. You just got to pay attention to find that one. To get to that one, you also have to breach it. Also be aware that that capital ship is going to have some of the elite mobs on it. There's going to be 4 of them, and they're going to usually have good gear, so just be prepared that the AI are going to be stronger than usual, and a lot of players go to those points, so just be aware that it's going to be a lot of PvP. Alright, so that's for the rare events. Now hotkeys. I'm going to show you some hotkeys that aren't really known by much of the community yet, and that is going to be how to drop items quickly, which will be left alt and left click on an item. As you can see, I am just dropping them really quickly without actually having to do the way that most people do, which is right click and discard. Alright, also you can quick loot items in this game Once you identify it in a container, you actually can use left control and left click and instant take items instead of having to drag them like this. As you've seen, I dropped my backpack as well. When you drop a backpack, you can hold F. It says it while you're looking at it, and you actually can loot a backpack on the ground. So be aware of that. The last hotkey, as you've seen when you were probably already noticing how is he using his meds without actually clicking use, middle mouse button. If you hover over an item and click middle mouse button, it instantly uses the heal for you. Food, bandages. So keep that in mind. That's how you quick heal. Alright, so this is going to be some additional information before I get to the prestiging. In this game, it's a little bit like, for most players that are playing this, they probably come from Escape from Tarkov, and you'll always do a right side peek in Tarkov. Left side peeks are known for players to get you killed by AI and players. In this game, it's no different. A right side peek is much better in this game than a left side peek. My whole, literally, I mean, you can't really see it too much, but my hand, as well as half my body, is exposed in this angle. Compared to this angle, all that's exposed is a little bit of my foot, my shoulder, and a tiny piece of my head. So make sure you know that. Right side peeks are much better in this game if you're going to be holding angles. In addition, in raids, there's lock containers that need lockpicks. These, I would recommend highly. Always bring a couple lockpicks into a raid to get to the good loot areas. Every location also has a vault that requires a blowtorch. A blowtorch is going to be used to get into vaults. And I'm going to head out of this raid right now. So to get into the vault, you're going to see 3 hinges on the side of it. You're going to use a blowtorch, not a flamethrower. It has to be a blowtorch. And you use it to melt through the hinges to get inside. So while you're doing that, that'll get you inside the vault, like I said. There's also depots in 3 of the maps in this game. They're going to be the depots on Spaceport, Iridium Mine, and Terraformer. They require a token to open them. To find these tokens, you have to find blue bodies throughout the raid. So, and you'll just find them randomly. The tokens are only found in the raid that is relevant to that depot. So if you're on Iridium Mine, you will only find on those blue bodies the mine token. You cannot find a spaceport token inside a different map that is not the map that you're supposed to open. And there's not a 100% chance that you find it to begin with on those bodies. It's not a guaranteed spawn. Also, as you see my timer, the oxygen's under 10 minutes now. AI and map gets stronger after 10 minutes. You're going to start noticing more shotgun scavs popping up, or correction, shotgun raiders, as well as SVT raiders. They're the more cracked version of the AI. They shoot you much faster than the other ones. They have way more accuracy. So realize after 10 minutes, the AI have a higher possibility of killing you. So make sure you're in and out, or you're hoping your aim's really good for it. While I get out, I'm going to talk about a couple more things, like the heavy shield and shields in this game, which are actually really good. So, ballistic shields, you have a small shield and a heavy shield in this game. They're actually really good. Shield stops all rounds from hitting you in the way it protects, even when it's on your back. You can have it as a secondary, and if you're in the middle of a firefight and you need to turn around and reload and you have a shield on your back, you can run away while that shield's on your back and you will actually not take as many shots as you normally would because they'll be reflecting off the shield. I should have a shield here to show you what it looks like. Right here, that's a heavy shield. And there's also a small shield. They stop every round in this game. No matter the size of the caliber, they cannot pen through that shield. The only way they hit you is if they hit your limbs that are exposed a little bit, or they try to jump shot you or get an angle on you. So just realize that. Also, In this game, hip firing is really good. If you're in close quarters, make sure you hip fire. If you're really close to someone, ADSing sometimes is beneficial for quick headshots, but ADSing is sometimes going to get you killed. That hip firing will most likely save your life more times than you can count. Also, I didn't show it and stop on the screen. When you escape from an escape pod, you get 2 times the EXP. So whatever EXP, if I gained 1,000 in raid by killing everything, when I get out, I get 2K for leaving with my escape pod, just surviving, basically. If you leave with your ship, even if it's a rust bucket, you get 3 times your EXP. So if you got 1,000 EXP, now you're getting 3,000 experience. So leaving with a ship is more beneficial for EXP grinding than it is just dipping out with your pod. The last thing I wanted to cover with you all was going to be prestiging, which is something you'll get towards the end. First of all, prestiging requires you to be level 50 currently. I know in the guide, prestiging tells you that you can be level 40. That is not the case. I don't know if that was just a mistype or if they even plan on switching it back to 40 that it possibly used to be. It's going to be in this guide somewhere. Let's see. I can't really find it. I'm sure I'm looking over it too fast to notice it. Endgame. Oh, there we go. Prestiging. After reaching level 40, you get the option to prestige your character. It's level 50, guys, not 40. Level 50. And right here it says prestige available. I click this. I click yes, and it prestiges me. It gives me a prestige token, which I can use to get some prestiged gear. By gear, I mean cosmetics. I can use it to increase my storage, and I can use it to increase my ship slots. Realize this, when you prestige once, everything wipes. Your money's gone, everything in your stash is gone. Your traders are supposed to reset to level 1 again. All these go back to level 1. Currently there's a bug and they don't. Just realize that when they fix that, all these will go back to level 1 when you prestige. You just lose everything. It's like a fresh account with no starter items and only, I think it's $20,000. That's all you get when you prestige. The only thing that you keep is your cosmetics that you purchased. Not even the crafting stuff you unlocked. This is all locked again. You just keep your cosmetics. That's what happens when you prestige. So hopefully this guide helped give you useful information about the game. And hopefully you guys can use it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.